This clip is from Pokémon XY, the series and topic for today, and after just rewatching the whole series, I can surely say that this is when the Pokémon anime became an actual anime. But what is an actual anime? Well, what is anime? Anime means animation. A more defined definition would be animation from Japan, or that of that classic Japanese art style mixed in with more mature themes. So while the long-running Pokemon show does classify as an anime, its core audience is mostly children, or rated E for everyone. But with that comes exceptions, and Pokemon XY is definitely that exception, because this series is not for kids. Well, that sounds weird. What I meant to say is that it's not really just for the kids this time. Ash and series prior to this one felt and looked more like a 10-year-old child, and yes, while he would grow as a trainer through evolving his Pokemon, learning various battling tactics and so on, he never really matured as a person. But that all changes in Pokemon XY, because in the first episode, we can clearly see a visual difference in Ash's appearance. He looks much taller than in the past, his outfit looks dope, and his face looks sharper than ever. Why did Pokemon decide to do this? Well, his appearance roughly mimics that of the XY game's male character who Ash is wearing some of his clothes, but it's not just the clothes. In the X and Y games, both the male and female characters are actually 15 to 17 years old, which makes a lot of sense as to why Ash looks like he aged 5 years since we last saw him in Black and White. Pokemon didn't just make Ash look older in the series, they also made him act mature, like more mature than he's ever been. We can clearly see this by how in the first few episodes this happens.
Pikachu!
So obviously Ash jumping off an 80-story building and risking his life to save Pikachu isn't mature as in attitude, but definitely altitude. And you can see this theme throughout the entire series. Ash as a character has always gone out of his way to save Pokemon and risking his life in the process. But what makes XY stand out is just that we've never seen it this cool before. And speaking of cool, can we talk about the art style? While some prefer more of the flowy animations like in Sun and Moon or other animes, in XY, the animators really wanted to stay on character. This made it so that the characters don't have funny facial expressions every 2 seconds. It led to the characters themselves looking a lot more consistent. The downside to this, however, is that the characters are going to be lip flapping a lot more and not moving all that much. But I loved it, because to me, I prefer the more consistent style over the goofy, crazy, and emotional expressions displayed on the characters, since the consistent style blends well with the more mature theme that XY has. Now that's not to say that the characters aren't goofy though, come on, it's Pokemon. But again, it remains very consistent with the art style, and that art style just so happens to make everyone look cooler. Now, who is everyone? Great question. Let's look at the main traveling companions in the series and see if they follow the same mature theme that makes the series an actual anime. The main cast consists of Ash, Serena, Clement, and Bonnie. This cast, I'm sorry, is by far the best cast of companions we have ever had in Pokemon. Their personalities bounce off so well with each other, their chemistry is off the charts. Clement is this really clever inventor slash gym leader who is really unintentionally funny. Yes, he is the Brock of this Pokemon series pretty much, but don't take that the wrong way, because Clement is amazing. He gave us some of the best gym battles in Pokemon. Scratch that, the best gym battles in Pokemon, period. As well as some classic scenes. Of course, we can't forget his iconic line.
The future is now thanks to science! Clemantic gear on! This is my not a very good dancer automated good dancing device.
Bonnie is his younger sister, and she is also not to be taken lightly, because for a kid who can't own a Pokemon yet, Bonnie still manages to be a great character, giving us a new perspective on someone who is much younger than the rest of the main cast. She is pretty much the backbone of the group, the glue that holds them all together. While Bonnie may not have the most personal development, she played key roles in the series, helping the group when needed, and is also a savage to her older brother. I love Bonnie, and if Pokemon had just aged her up in Journeys when she could have become an actual trainer like she said she was gonna be, it would have made her character like 10 times better. I can already imagine her team. Last but most definitely not least, we have Serena, who just like Ash, Serena was also modeled after her in-game counterpart. In fact, she's pretty much the exact same, but instead of being Ash's rival, she's Ash's girlfriend. What? Okay, does she like Ash after Ash saved her when she was a child? Yes. Is Serena Ash's girl? No. but we'll get to that in a second here. Firstly, I will say Serena in the first 40 something episodes was just kind of there, like not really doing anything, since up until that point she had absolutely no goals. She really just joined the group to stop being a Rhyhorn racer, which is what her mom really wanted her to be. But after joining Ash for reasons, she later on discovers a new passion for Pokemon performing. Low-key an amazing thing to watch because of the beautiful animations in XY, thanks to that 3D camera and the animators stepping it up to 10. Plus, Serena's path to glory was pretty believable, and since she had a major glow up after losing her first performance and changing her outfit to match her growth, she really transformed into a serious character that, well, is fun to watch. Now, there's always debate on the romance between them on whether it's too much, is it good or is it bad, but after my rewatch, honestly, considering that they act a lot older, they look older, like they're definitely not 10. If anyone's 10, it's Bonnie, and she's not even supposed to be 10. Needless to say, I found their little romance throughout the series to be quite cute. And it's not like this weird, heavily forced romance for kids. She would just kind of show affection for Ash every now and then. Cause like, it's Ash. Bro would be acting like he's an adult with all that confidence and coolness he obtained in the series. In a weird way, we the viewers are very much like Serena, cause we both find Ash's never give up attitude attractive. The difference is that she's a woman. But honestly, I would argue it only made Serena a better character because no matter what, she ain't giving up till she reaches her goal. And that, like, I don't know, I love Ash, and having a character who loves Ash for the same reasons I do makes this little romance all the more conveying and fun to watch. Alright, I said it. The single best thing that the writers did was once Serena changed her outfit to represent her new self, she wore the ribbon Ash gave her. If you know, you know. But come on, like that is one of the cutest things. And again, Serena wasn't just a good character because she liked Ash. Serena was a good character because she was relatable, inspiring, and did one of the coolest things outside of Pokemon battles. Like, I know Serena can be overly talked about online. Some say she's overrated and Dawn's better, whatever. Have your opinion. But I rewatched both the Sinnoh series and XY series, and I can confidently say that Serena fans are justified. Except a certain few, they know who they are. But I'm telling you, she's top 3 for me, possibly my favorite companion in all of Pokemon. She's just that good. And I can say that since I just rewatched the whole Pokemon thing. I think the single most important aspect that makes this Pokemon series an actual anime, well, it's a few things, but I can sum it up to you in one word. Battles. Other than the Masters 8, Pokemon XY has the best battles, and this all comes down to the art style, that dang 3D camera, the 3D backgrounds, the characters' exaggerated movements, which really sells the battles, and of course, the single Pokemon that carried XY on its back, Greninja. But not just any Greninja. We're talking about a Greninja that can sync together with Ash, creating Ash Greninja. Hands down one of the best decisions a Pokemon anime has ever done. The reason they were able to do this in the first place is because Ash's Greninja was literally destined for greatness since the start. It was the chosen one pretty much, and it chose Ash as its trainer because it knew that one day it would reach its fullest potential with a trainer like Ash. Ash Greninja was such a banger in XY that the following year after the XYZ series release, Greninja became the #1 most popular Pokemon of all time due to Pokemon XY, because that's when it became a flippin' anime. Every time I saw Ash get fused together with Greninja and hearing that cool music in the background, I just got so excited. The animation is just straight eye candy to look at, and nothing beats the battles Greninja had in the Kalos League. Although Greninja did carry Ash's Pokemon, his other Pokemon are nothing to shy over either. Talonflame is an absolute beast, having one of the most memorable evolution moments during a battle against a Moltres. Hawlucha had its own unique, tough personality, and since it was the Forest champion, Hawlucha was naturally a good battler, a perfect fit for Ash's Kalos team. Goodra is, well, Goodra. Pretty self-explanatory for why it's the best. Okay, I'll give you my honest opinion. Gumi was known to be the weakest dragon type, then it evolved again, and was just very kind and loving Pokemon. It also made the battle between Ash versus Clement one of the best battles ever, so gotta give credit to Goodra there. While people love to point out that Goodra didn't do much in the Kalos League, I will actually point out that you're wrong, because in that battle against Sawyer, Goodra traded, and the battle against Alon, well, 1, that Bisharp was broken. 2, Goodra set up Rain Dance so that when he died, Greninja came in and was able to one-shot Bisharp, leaving Goodra with a well-deserved assist. So saying it didn't do anything during the Kalos League is just wrong. Put some respect on Goodra's name, okay? Another thing people complain about is how the Kalos League is kinda short, and while I do agree that I would have loved to see more battles, we got arguably 2 of the best battles, plus it led to the greatest arc in Pokemon history, the Team Flare arc. The Team Flare arc was perfect. Perfect. everything, down to the last minute details. I mean, it gave us some of the coolest, saddest, and funniest moments in the Pokemon anime. I think what made this arc so good was the stakes at hand. Like, this guy Lysander was trying to destroy the whole world and keep only the chosen ones who he thought fit to be alive because he thinks humans have gotten out of hand. He's basically like the Thanos of the Pokemon universe, and everything about this arc was just great. Honestly, peak Pokemon. The Team Flare arc was amazing. Don't believe me? Well, go watch it for yourself. Like every TV show, however, there are flaws, and Pokémon XY is definitely not perfect. In fact, the first season had horrible pacing. Like, it took 20 episodes to get to the next gym, and I was like, how many more Team Rocket episodes do I have to get through in order to see Ash win his next gym badge? Also, Ash nor the rest of the characters don't get rivals till like episode 40, and Ash doesn't even get any serious rivals until late into the second season, which is like episode 70. Also, again, Serena for the first 40 episodes didn't do anything. So we were left to some filler episodes in Team Rocket. But even though I could have skipped through some of these fillers, most of them were actually really fun to watch, and because we had these amazing character dynamics, the episodes weren't even that bad, as long as Team Rocket wasn't the whole plot of the episode. But I will credit them for training up Ash and making him stronger for the Kalos League, and without Team Rocket, a lot of cool things and evolutions, captures, and character growths wouldn't have happened. So yeah, the pacing was sort of all over the place for the first 2 seasons, but it became so good in the final season that it honestly doesn't even matter to me anymore. Also, again, I can't complain because, again, the main cast was just that great. Speaking of great, let's talk about the rivals. While, again, it only took Pokemon like 300 years to introduce them, the rivals in this series were some of the best we've ever gotten. Serena's rivals, for the most part, were solid. Shauna was the one who introduced Serena to contests and became a great main rival for her throughout the series. Mimi was just kind of there. Miette was another contest rival and added a lot of extra drama to the series, mostly because she also liked Ash, and Serena, well, let's just say it led to some very funny moments between the two. Lastly, there's the Kalos Queen Aria, who was the person Serena looked up to, and they had a great one-off episode as well as an epic final showcase performance. For Ash, we got his first rival Tierno, who I found enjoyable. Other than his joyful personality though, he had his own unique dancing battle style that actually was quite effective. It even led to Ash wanting to learn his style. But since it's Ash, he couldn't quite understand how to actually dance properly.
I think Ash is trying to dance.
But that's great, because we all know Ash is at his best when when he thinks of these creative strategies during battle to overcome his foes. Overall, Tierno was a good rival, especially because he helped Ash grow earlier on and adapt as needed, although he's got nothing on these next 2 rivals, which are just some of the best rivals in the Pokemon anime. Secondly, we got Sawyer. At first, he's just kind of this odd nerdy kid who upon introduction just started off on his journey, and after battling Ash, Sawyer immediately takes notes of his encounter, so that next time he can have an even better chance at battling him. Eventually, Sawyer got so good at predicting Ash's battling style and Pokemon, he pretty much caught up to him in skill level. He surpassed him in gym badges and even beat him in a Pokemon battle, which is just crazy considering that not long ago he was a brand new trainer from Hoenn. Sawyer was unique because we never really saw someone who can just pop up out of nowhere and seem really bad at first to then become such a huge threat later on. Also, the way Sawyer studied Ash to the point where he was about to win against Ash during the Kalos League match until Ketchum pulled out the Ash Greninja card was just insane. He was definitely an interesting character that morphed Ash to being a better, more aware battler and not to take anyone for granted no matter how weak they may appear. Lastly, we got Alon, another fan favorite. He's just the definition of cool. Not only does this guy get his own side series where he's just beating up Mega Pokemon, well, there is a reason, but Mans also just shows up after one of Ash's battles with Sawyer and challenges him to a battle with his Greninja to then destroy Ash with his Mega Charizard because he can. Well, there is a reason for that. No, Alon is just so cool. He's even working for the people who are trying to destroy the world, but of course he doesn't know that. He's too busy being cool. I don't know, Alon was great. The side series he was in really helped flesh out his character. I thought him working with Team Flare was also a really cool touch, and since he's battling Megas and Legendaries, it sort of justifies why he sweeps the floor every time he fights Ash. People are still butthurt about how Ash lost to this guy in the finals, but I won't complain because their battle was just so cool and epic that to me it doesn't even matter. Plus, Ash has gone on to win a league and then to win the World's Coronation Series, so there's not much to complain about anymore anyways. And since I just mentioned Team Flare a second ago, let's talk about the arc that I find potentially better than the Team Flare arc, and that's when Ash gets depressed and goes on a losing streak. After we see Ash's positive and mature attitude in this series, where he uses actual strategy and becomes a real competitor, Ash, after discovering his newfound powers with Greninja, becomes so cocky to the point where he loses battle after battle after battle. It got so bad that Greninja even thought Ash was unworthy for a while, which is why we see that scene where Greninja is walking away from Ash in the Japanese opening. Since cause Greninja is supposed to be the chosen one, he's not gonna bother with someone who can't help him reach his fullest potential. So after Ash loses to Sawyer and then loses to the 8th gym leader, he goes into this depression state, which up to this point we have never really seen Ash act like this before. Ash runs off into the snowy woods by himself, leaving Serena, Bonnie, Clement, and all his other Pokemon at the Pokemon Center. This then leads into one of my favorite scenes in all of Pokemon. Serena goes off to find Ash, and once she finds him, Serena tries to relate with Ash, explaining to him that she knows how he feels because she felt that same way when she lost her first performance.
You don't have a clue how I feel! And tell me about it! It's none of your business. Leave me alone.
The Ash I know is full of energy. He's a leader, and he never gives up. He hangs in there till the very end. You're not acting like the Ash I know! Give me back the real Ash, because you sure aren't him!
That scene was just crazy. I remember watching it for the first time and was like, dang, what happened to Ash? But Serena's words did help inspire Ash to get out of his rut. Which was great, because after Ash rematched Wolfric, he was able to master the Ash Greninja transformation, securing him the win. Thanks Serena and those wild butterfly Pokemon for that. Those 3 episodes where Ash loses, goes on into the woods to regain his sanity and find himself again, to then defeating Mega Abomasnow, showed a different side of Ash that's not the Ash we know, but definitely made for great character development. Cause for a good portion of time, Ash felt unstoppable after almost beating the champion's Mega Gardevoir with his Greninja. He was way over his head after that and needed a reality check. Again, something that Pokemon wouldn't usually do, which is why I love this arc, since he actually showed a natural human reaction instead of always being this positive, uplifting robot all the time. I truly believe that the Pokémon XY series was the closest thing to an older people Pokemon anime that we have all been asking for years, which is why I think it was so well received. It aimed to be more like a traditional shonen anime like Naruto, Dragon Ball Z, and One Piece, with unique protagonist powers, stages of character development seen by outfit changes, action-packed fight scenes, and a slight love interest. Also, an anime isn't complete without a good opening theme song, and Pokemon's XYZ intro doesn't disappoint. So with that, I would conclude that the Pokémon XY show has reached actual anime status. Yes, is it mostly for kids? Well, of course. But does it include more mature themes? Absolutely. Do I recommend this series to non-Pokemon fans? Yes, definitely check it out and see for yourselves. Is this Pokemon series overrated? No. It has pretty much everything going for it other than, well, the earlier seasons having bad pacing, but no Pokemon series is without its flaws. So I can say that after just rewatching it again, it's honestly my favorite Pokemon series, and it deserves all the love it gets. Also, please stop saying that Serena, Bonnie, and Clement are overrated. We fans have our reasons, okay? Am I a little biased because this was the Pokemon series I grew up with? Yeah, but to this day, I still think it's just as good. So, with that comes to my conclusion. Pokemon XY did what most other Pokemon series could not. They aged up Ash. Say what you will, but he is definitely not 10. He's at least like 16 years old. Anyways, thanks for watching. Check out the XY series if you don't believe me, and see how good it is for yourselves. And if you have a different opinion, well, that's why the comment section exists. Join my Discord, subscribe so we can hit 70k, and bye bye.